Two Seattle City Council members are calling on Mayor Katie Wilson to immediately shut down neighborhood streets near Aurora Avenue, saying the surge in crime in that area has gotten that bad. Last month, neighbors took matters into their own hands and erected large metal planters to block the road. The city took it down, put up temporary barriers, but those who live there say they're not working. Council members Debora Juarez and Hollingsworth tell Fox 13 News that they strongly agree with residents and they urge the mayor to block the roads immediately. Here are portions of my interview.
What we're seeing on Aurora in the years that I've lived there is a much more violent Aurora than I've ever seen in the last decade. It is a public safety issue. It's more predatory. We have more sex trafficking.
The first thing I want to talk about is shutting the streets down. That is by far. The second thing is getting these 12, 13, and 14-year-old girls that are being raped and exploited from these pedophiles on Aurora needs to be addressed. And I know that a lot of us, these are black and brown girls on the street, and these are something that we're really, no matter what color they are, but I want to emphasize that.
On Wednesday, I was moderating a forum and I asked this question about residents are asking why not act now. And her answer basically was that we really have to look at the first responder issue and that those planters that residents have put up are not permanent solutions as she saw it. And so that she was waiting for a quick study.
Yeah, so look, here's the reality. If we have more energy for Lake Washington Boulevard right now for every weekend in the summer. And I'm making that comparison because that was a sense of urgency and political will. Right now, we can shut those streets down to ensure that people are safe now. That's just that point blank. They have the authority to do that. And then we can figure out, okay, what are the next steps?
We don't need a study. So I had my staff at the thing, so I know, and I watched, I know what went on and what was said. We don't need a study. Gun violence is not only a public safety issue, it's a public health issue, particularly for innocent people that are just bystanders.
I'm just curious, when was the last time you had a direct conversation with the mayor, over the phone or in person, or is it just at this point just press releases, as you mentioned?
I have never spoken to the mayor. She has never spoken to me. I don't want to leave you with the impression that when I see the mayor at events and we sit together, of course we visit and we talk about what's going on and, you know, that type of stuff. There's no ill will there. But to be honest with you about your question, in my role as an elected official on the legislative branch, I have never met with the mayor.
Right, to talk about policy and things like that is what you're talking about. Okay.
Yes.
I agree with Councilmember Juarez that those communication lines have to improve. I've gone on the record and said that a bunch of times on different interviews that you know, it needs to improve, because the reality is that just because that communication might not be where it should be doesn't mean that everyone else has to suffer. Seattle deserves a lot better.
Well, residents fed up over the violence protested over the weekend. The council is working on legislation to address Aurora Avenue, but again, urging the mayor not to wait for council, but to use executive power to shut down those roads immediately. We are waiting for a response from the mayor's office about that request.